It's 2026 and I'm still a serial unfinisher of series. Welcome back to Reading Sprints and Chai Sips. I am Sasha Bonet and it's 2026 and we're starting the year off with unfinished series, obviously, that I'm bringing from 2025 and prior. I like standalones, I really do. I like series as well, but I'm a standalone girl. But I keep starting series because books have series. So I created this series on my channel so it would help me, so that it could help me to finish series. So I've chosen 4 series. 2 I will finish if I read them in this video. And the other 2 I will move further along in the series. Let me show you which series I chose. A motorcycle series by Casey Mills. This one is Pharaoh. I believe there's only 2 books in this series. This is the second one. I read the first one on Kindle, and then I went to Southern Hearts and Signed Kisses and pre-ordered and got the first one and this one and got them signed. And so now it's just time to finish this one. I think this will be a quick read. It is thick as hell, but I think it will be a quick read. Plus, I like a good motorcycle romance. Next is Reaper of Souls by Rena Barron. I read the first one a while ago. This is a YA fantasy with a young girl who was said to not have any magic, but turns out she may just be the queen to a god, reincarnated, I believe, or the god itself. One of those. I'm going to have to refresh my memory on this one. Next is Laws of Wrath by Eric LaSalle. The first one I actually enjoyed. The first one was a thriller. This series is a thriller. It's crime thrillers. And the first one was a serial killer who was killing priests for their crimes. It was enjoyable. It was entertaining. It even had a love story in it. I don't know what this one is going to have, for me, but I like the first one so much. I hope this one is good. I think there's only like 4 books in the series so far. I don't know if after the 4th one, the author will continue in the series, but I'm enjoying this one. And last but not least is Hearts That Cut by Kika Hatsapalu. I enjoyed the first book. The first book I got in my Fairy Loot box, and it took me a while to get to it, but once I did, I was surprised at how much I actually did like it, because fantasy is something that I'm learning. I have a few do's, don'ts, wills, and won'ts when it comes to it, and I enjoyed that one. So this was in my head to buy as soon as I could and as soon as I remembered, and I did just that, and I can't wait to read this one. I hope it's as good as the first one. A sequel that you love, a sequel of a book that you've loved in the first one sometimes disappoints, so I'm hoping that this one is good. But yeah, tomorrow I am going to the library to spend a few hours reading, getting some classwork done. I'm in my final class of my master's degree program. I have a huge paper to write. I also have a group therapy session or a group session that I have to facilitate. And I can't wait for the group, honestly, because it will be the final group. It's the closing group, and I can't wait. I also have residency at the end of this month. All of these things are happening. So I'm reading, I'm getting prepared for residency and internship and all of those things. But tomorrow is a day that I just want to go to the library. I rented out a study room, so I will be utilizing the study room. I also have to pick up an audiobook from there. So it's a couple of things going on, but we will do it all at the library tomorrow while trying to get some of these books read. So I'll see you in the morning. First, before we get into the books, look at this. I got this from Aldi. It's from Pembroke Crochet Plushie Kit. Make your own avocado. The contents are yarn, stuffing, crochet hook, darning needle, and instructions. But look how cute this little avocado is. Mind you, I bought a banana before. Still haven't crocheted that or knitted or whatever that banana. But now I have an avocado. I'm going to do one of them. I don't know which one. I'm going to do one of them. Maybe even in this video. We'll see. But I got an avocado. Also, my library gives away free books all the time. And sometimes I take them, sometimes I don't. But I picked up The Secret History of the Pink Carnation by Lauren Willig. Never read from this author. But I did look it up, and this has quite a few, like over, I believe, 100,000 people have read this, and it's sitting pretty good for something like that. So I'm thinking that the reason my library decided to get rid of it is because it's a pretty damaged book, but we'll see how I like it whenever I decide to read it. I don't know when. And another one was Victoria. I don't know what this is about, by Robert Merle. I don't know. I'll check them out and we'll see if I like them whenever I get to them. Just remember, when or if you see them in a video, that you saw them here and that I got them from my local library. Now to the book. So I finished Laws of Wrath by Eric LaSalle. I read this along with the audiobook, and the audiobook is voiced by Eric LaSalle, the author. And I enjoyed this one just as much as I enjoyed the other one. I'm giving this one a 4-star. I actually teared up at the end. This series is like a domino effect. It reminds me of this show right here, where you are kind of thrusted into something that has already been taking place for years, and it's kind of like all come to a head now, right? So I don't know why, but I do love crime thrillers. Some people don't. Matter of fact, I think a lot of people don't, but there is a niche amount of us, right, that actually do, and I'm one of those people who does. And in this series, you're following, for the most part, 2 cops, and one has a transgender brother and a father who used to be in the streets, really like kingpin status, and the other cop has I believe they're twins, a twin brother who is a priest. And both of these cops are they play by the rules. They are really good cops, and they do bounce off of each other really, really well. And I believe their names are Fee and Quincy. They are really good police officers. They have really high success rates. But underneath all of that, the series is about when your back is up against the wall and you have a decision to make. Are you going to do what the force or what the laws say are right? Or are you going to go with your heart, your mind, your soul, your spirituality, all the things that make you you? Are those the things that are going to make these decisions for you? In the first book, we were following the fact that some priests were being murdered left and right for all sorts of crimes against the church, crimes against humanity, and just being immoral. And in this book, we're following Fee's, transgender sister was murdered. And it kind of follows a domino effect because it all starts with his father. So we get more backstory on his father and what his father did, and how Fee finally comes to terms that he wasn't as good of a brother as he should have been. Just as much as we get Fee's father's perspective of how he wasn't as good of a father as he thought he could have been. by the way that they treated AJ. AJ is the one that's used most in this book, so that's the one I'm going with. But I kind of teared up at the end because at AJ's funeral, a lot of things were said, and it put some things into perspective, not for me, but for the characters in here. And I enjoyed this one. So 4 stars. I am going to continue the series. There's one more book in the series, and after that, I will be done. However, I do not own that third book. And since I do own the first and the second, and I'm going to continue to keep them, I do believe I need to buy that book. I'm not in a rush to buy that book, but in order to read these, I do think you should read them in order if you are going to read them first, second, and third, because you learn so much in the first one, and it is a continuing plot into this one. It also reminds me of like SVU because I don't watch the other ones, or I haven't watched SVU in a long time. That's crazy. I might need to watch SVU, but I haven't watched SVU in a very long time. But it used to be like my comfort show, even to fall asleep to, which is crazy. But it has that the main characters have an underlying plot, like Olivia Benson and Detective Stabler, Munch, all of them, right? They had continuing storylines, even though the cases change. That's what this gives, and I like that kind of format in a crime thriller. I think the next book I'm going to get into will be this one. I don't know if I'm going to get into all 4 books. I am in my very last class, and I have 2 papers to write by Monday. And no, I didn't wait till the last minute to write these papers. Unforeseen circumstances, like one of my partners giving birth to her baby, and we just asked for an extension so that she could participate in what we had going on. And because of that, it pushed timelines back some. So now I have 2 papers to write by Monday. I can do it. I just have to write and not write and study. I have to write and research, right? So, and go through a transcript and some other things. So this one seems to be really short, so that's why I'm going with this one. But I don't know if I'm going to do 2 other books. I don't know, but we'll see. Hearts That Cut is the second book in the Kika Hatsaplu series, and I can't wait to get into it. So let's talk about Hearts That Cut by Kika Hasapulu. 70 pages in, and I am not interested. I am not enjoying this one as much as I enjoyed the first one at all. This is a DNF for me. And I am pretty disappointed in that, especially since I love the first one. I think I gave it a 4.5 star. Yeah, 71. It doesn't even have the same feel as the first one. So I'm not going to get too into this one, but it's a DNF. Reading 70 pages, I think is enough to say whether you like or dislike a book. And I am disliking this one. And this reminds me of Letters of Enchantment or whatever, that this duology right here. It reminds me of that, being that the first book was so good, then you get to the second one and you're like, what the fuck is this? That's this. Like 2 different tones, very slow. I don't like it. So this is a DNF, and we're going to move on. I want to move on to Pharaoh, Wolf Warriors MC by Casey Mills. Like I said, I got this from Casey Mills pre-order when I went to Southern Hearts and Signed Kisses, and I read the first one on Kindle, but I did get it physically when I went to the event, and I got the second one so I could read it physically. And I actually like Casey Mills's writing. These are not the only two books I've read. I've read a few others, and I enjoy her writing. And I need a little motorcycle love, motorcycle club love in my life, a little motorcycle romance. So let's get it. So, y'all, it's official. That avocado that I showed you that was so cute, I tried it. My nerves are too bad, and my mind is too frazzled on the inside for me to concentrate on that. Especially if you tell me something is simple or for a beginner and you go straight into making it instead of the instructions telling you how to even begin. Like, how do you start? You just don't go like this and it makes something, right? So that avocado and that banana have been denounced. They are no longer mine, and I'm not going to do them. I'm going to find something else that can get the job done for me as a hobby. I usually check the mail and put the mail on my desk and then get to it whenever, because usually there's nothing in my mailbox that is pressing enough for me to have to like make sure a bill gets paid or something like that, right? Because I stay on top of my bills. But I received a letter and I didn't even know that it had come. So it says, "Dear me, thank you for your gift of 7 hardback books and 9 paperback books. And we appreciate your generous donation to the library." So I, in the beginning of this year, I forgot what day, but I donated books to my local library, and they sent me a letter saying thank you. So that was fun. I don't know. I like that I could put this in a memory box or something and keep it. Moving forward, y'all, I just got out the gym. I'm a little out of breath, and I should have waited till I caught my breath before I turned on the camera. But I wanted to get this update to you all. So I'm about, I want to say 40% in on Pharaoh, and I'm enjoying this. I thought this was going to be a second chance, but it's not. And thank gosh it's not, because I do not like second chance romances. But this one right here is more like, it is a second chance, but they were never together. So it's a second chance to possibly get together and do everything they possibly could have done had choices and consequences been different, right? And options been different. And I am enjoying this. So Pharaoh and Yari were teenagers when they met. Her father was the president of the the Wolf Warriors motorcycle club. And he, not found this young boy, but found this young boy pretty much who was just like not in a good place, right? So they got together for him to just be off the street and have something focused to do, like helping him fix bikes around the motorcycle club and things like that. He kind of took him under his wing. But her father also noticed that he liked his daughter. So he basically told him, the things that I get into, that the club gets into, and that you want to try to get into is something that I don't want my daughter into. He also voiced, because you would say that's so hypocritical because you're married with a child, but he also realized in being married and having a child that maybe I shouldn't have brought this woman, who is my wife and I love her dearly and protect her, I possibly shouldn't have done that, being in the life that we are in, which ultimately you learn caused him and his wife their lives, right? And kind of like outcasted his daughter. So she finally, reconnects with the motorcycle club because she needs help. And Pharaoh is like, I'm going to help her because I owe it to her father, but also I owe it to myself. Not closure, but he basically is like, do I still want her? And the moment he basically comes into contact with her, he knows he does. And he knows, this is my chance to not let her get away from me again. And that's where this book is. And I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. The chemistry between them is thick and palpable. Like kind of like touch it. That's how thick it is. And I love it. I love a good romance that builds, right? They've only kissed one time, and it's because, and it also has kind of like a fake dating plot in it as well, because claiming a woman as property is something that has to be done in her situation. If you read it, you'll understand. But she didn't like that. She's a very headstrong, if you say yes, she has to say no. If you say up, she has to say down, or why, or explain yourself kind of thing. And he said, well, we're going to have to fake date this out. Can you handle that? And she says, yeah. So he kisses her and she falls all into this kiss. And in his head, he was like, I'm going to kiss her to see where she's at, and then I'm going to pull back. But he couldn't even control himself. So he's all into this kiss, and it was her who had to break it. And he realized how into her he really was in that moment, because when she breaks the kiss, she goes, how was that? Letting him know that, yeah, we're faking this. And he was like, damn, like it wasn't even good enough for her to even forget that we were trying to fake it. Oh, that's my cue to let her know this is real. This is real. I'm not just doing this for TV, right? So I'm enjoying this. I'm having fun. I don't think I'm going to get to this book because it's a fantasy and I'm not in the mood for fantasy, but we'll see once I finish with this one. So when I come back, you should have an update on whether I finish this one. Well, most likely I'll finish this one, but you should have an update on whether I'm going to read that YA fantasy book or not. And I'm leaning towards not, but we shall see. So this video is coming to a close. I have finished Pharaoh. I'm going to give it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I love them realizing that it was always each other. It was always the other one for each other. You know what I mean? Like love. Yeah, so I have finished the series with this one. I have finished the sequel in this one. There's one more book left in this series, so I'm going to continue. I DNF'd this one. I just was not into this as much as I was with the first one. So this is a DNF, but I will keep the first one on my shelves, but this, it's going. And because I did not get to this one for this video, this is just going to be put back onto the shelves, and it'll be for another video, or I'll read it when I read it. I just was not in the mood for fantasy, and that did not pertain to Hearts That Cut, because I was really looking forward to getting to that book. I was just disappointed. But this one right here, I just wasn't in the mood to continue with fantasy. So let me know if you've read anything that I've read in this video. If you've read Casey Mills' books, put down in the comments which books by her you enjoyed. Let me know. I want to get to those next. I really do. I can't wait to get more into Casey Mills' books. But if you've made it this far into the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And I will definitely see you in the next one. Bye.